Learn English with your Instill.
Hello everyone. Welcome to our channel. Whether you're starting from scratch or looking to polish your skills, you've come to the right place. Learning English can open doors to new opportunities, help you connect with people from all over the world, and build your confidence in speaking and understanding. In today's video, we're going to kick things off with some simple tips to make learning English fun and effective. We'll cover everything like helpful learning habits that you can incorporate into your daily life. Are you ready to start your journey to fluency? Let's dive in and make learning English an enjoyable adventure. So, grab a notebook, get comfy, and let's get started. When learning English, I often make mistakes, which can be frustrating, but I have learned to handle them in a way that helps me improve. The first step I take is to stay positive and remind myself that making mistakes is a normal part of learning a new language. I have learned not to be too hard on myself because I know that everyone makes mistakes when learning something new, whether it is a language, a sport, or a skill. What matters is how I respond to those mistakes. One way I handle mistakes is by seeing them as learning opportunities. For example, when I make a mistake in pronunciation or grammar, I don't just feel bad about it. I use it to understand what I need to work on. This helps me to know where I need to focus my attention and improve my skills. Another important way I deal with mistakes is by practicing regularly. I know that practice is essential for making progress in learning English. When I make a mistake, I practice the correct way until I get it right. Repeating things many times helps me to remember the right way to do them. I might practice speaking out loud to myself, or I might repeat sentences after a teacher or a language app. Listening to English podcasts or watching videos in English also helps me hear the correct pronunciation and learn how to use words in the right way. The more I practice, the more confident I become, and the fewer mistakes I make over time. When I make a mistake, I also try to understand why I made it. I take a moment to think about what I said or wrote and what went wrong. For example, if I used the wrong verb tense or made a spelling error, I try to remember the rule that I should have used. Sometimes, I look up the rule in my English textbook or on an educational website to understand it better. Other times, I ask my teacher or a friend for help. I find that explaining the mistake to someone else or having someone explain it to me helps me remember it more clearly. This helps me build a strong foundation and reduces the chance that I will make the same mistake again in the future. Another way I deal with mistakes is by using them as a chance to ask questions. If I don't understand why I made a mistake, or if I am not sure how to do something correctly, I ask for help. I am not afraid to ask my teacher, classmates, or friends for advice. I know that asking questions shows that I am trying to learn and that it helps me get better. Asking questions helps me understand difficult parts of English better, like grammar rules or tricky words. It also shows me different ways to use words and phrases that I might not have thought of on my own. If I don't understand something the first time, I keep asking and trying until I get it. Being open to learning and asking questions is a big part of how I handle mistakes. Learning from mistakes also means that I try not to be afraid to make them. I used to feel scared to speak or write in English because I didn't want to make a mistake. But I learned that this fear only holds me back. Now, I try to remind myself that making mistakes is part of getting better. When I am brave enough to speak or write, even if I make mistakes, I am still learning. It's more important to practice and learn from my errors than to be afraid of making them. I think about how many mistakes native English speakers make every day, and I understand that mistakes don't mean I am not smart. They mean I am trying. I also keep a language journal where I write down the mistakes I make and the corrections. This helps me remember the right way to do things. For example, if I use the wrong word or make a grammar mistake, I write it down along with the correct version and the reason why the correct version is right. I look at this journal often, and it helps me study and review. When I see the same mistakes happening over and over, I know that I need to spend more time practicing that specific part of English. This habit has been very helpful because it helps me catch patterns in my mistakes and avoid them in the future. Sometimes, I use language learning apps to practice English, which also helps me learn from my mistakes. Many of these apps have exercises that give me instant feedback. If I make a mistake, the app shows me the right answer and explains why it is correct. This kind of feedback helps me learn quickly. I also enjoy playing language games that test my skills in a fun way. If I make mistakes during these games, I see them as part of the process and try again. The games make it easier for me to remember new vocabulary and grammar rules because they are fun and engaging. I also learn from mistakes by practicing speaking with other people. Talking to people in English, whether they are native speakers or other learners, is a good way to practice and learn. Sometimes, when I speak to someone and make a mistake, they correct me, and I feel grateful for it. Even if I feel a little embarrassed at first, I know that being corrected helps me learn. I pay attention to how others speak and use their corrections as examples for myself. Over time, I start to recognize common mistakes and learn how to avoid them, which makes me feel more confident. One thing I remind myself of when I make mistakes is that everyone learns at their own pace. Some people might pick up new words and grammar rules quickly, while others might take more time. I don't compare myself to others because everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses. What matters is that I keep going, keep learning, and try to get better every day. This helps me stay motivated and not feel discouraged by mistakes. I understand that mistakes don't mean I am failing. They mean I am trying and making progress. To sum up, handling mistakes while learning English is important because it helps me become a better speaker and writer. I try to stay positive, practice regularly, and use my mistakes as learning opportunities. I ask questions, seek help when needed, and use language tools to correct myself. I keep a journal of mistakes and corrections, which helps me see where I need to focus my attention. I also practice speaking with others and remind myself that making mistakes is normal and part of the learning process. By using these strategies, I am able to handle mistakes in a way that helps me learn and improve. Mistakes are not the end. They are a step toward becoming better at English.
Thanks for watching. Do like the video, share this to your friend, and don't forget to subscribe my channel.